Greetings, fellow Earthlings. You have tuned in to another WOOMOO transmission. So today we are going to be tackling the hard problem of consciousness, the education system, and delving into how the Western psychological operation works and what its intent is. Okay, this will be enlightening. Starting off with consciousness. So consciousness is fundamental. It is the unity. We are all consciousness. So we've discussed in previous episodes that, we are a quantum biological radio. We are a receiver for the signal of the universe, and that we exist in two planes simultaneously. This is dualism. So your physical body is in the physical, and your higher self, the source, operate from the metaphysical. So ideally, you want to kind of find yourself in between the two, because the metaphysical, the higher plane, is the causal plane in which the physical plane is affected. Okay, now, so what is consciousness? Where does consciousness arise, and what is conscious within us? Consciousness is the ether. Okay, it is the fundamental 0-point energy, the life force, prana, chi. Okay, what kept Einstein up at night was spooky action at a distance. This is the idea of quantum entanglement. And he knew towards the end of his career that relativity doesn't work because it implies that space is a vacuum where if that were the case, quantum entanglement isn't possible. So what is this ether? Well, it is essentially a fine plasma ocean. Plasma is just pure energy. It is intelligent. So, like we discussed last episode, if you charge up your alkaline battery, you breathe in this life force energy, you are actually inhaling consciousness. You are breathing consciousness within you, okay? And the perfect way to kind of think this is like, well, what happens when we stop breathing? We are no longer conscious. That is what keeps us conscious, the breath, right? So people think, oh yeah, the air you breathe, yeah, of course there's oxygen and this and that and whatever these gases are in that. But within that, on a more quantum level, is this ether, the 0-point energy, the life force. So where does consciousness arise? Plasma, the life force. It is everywhere. Okay? That all makes sense? Cool. Okay, the Western PsyOps. So, and this has escalated throughout the 20th century, notably after World War II, and then really kicked into gear during the 60s, during the initial psychedelic revolution, specifically around the Vietnam War, and there was a huge, there was a generation within Western culture that started revisiting psychedelics and new ways of thinking. And obviously the system doesn't like this. And so through programs like MK Ultra, they worked on brainwashing techniques, mind control, in order to trap you into a specific belief system. It is a war on the freedom of thought, right? So obviously from the 40s, post-World War II, I mean, you'd have the newspaper. So what is media? Media is a system designed to propagate fear in order to drive consumerism under the illusion of comfort. This is what traditional legacy media is. It is propaganda. It is we spoke about neuro-linguistic programming. It is subconsciously programming you into this lower conscious state, this lower vibrational state in which we get trapped on things that don't really matter, abstractions such as money. Now, ultimately, what this has done is created this Western system in which people believe and identify with that money is God, meaning their self-worth, your value, how you value yourself directly corresponds to the money you earn or the idea of power that we have. True power is very different True power is security in yourself. Understanding there is no issue. There is nothing to worry about. Things will come to me. I don't need to go to them. And this is a very difficult concept for people to accept because people suffer their whole lives in order to earn this money. And then when they get the money, what they think they want with the money is just the feeling of what you get in that thing. And that feeling is fleeting. So it is not fulfilling, right? There's different levels to this game, okay? And we spoke about all this spooky action at a distance, like the kind of idea of magic and how to collapse a wave function through synchronicity and stuff in the last episode. So if you haven't checked that out, I highly suggest you do. Now, what else? Okay, next one. So the education system, and this is also a little mini announcement for something I've got coming up. For those of you aware of the online educational system school with a K, I'll be opening up a channel on that ASAP, and we'll keep you updated on when that's up and running. But I just want to touch on the education system as a whole, because it has been inversed, right? So in the current system, the system sets the curriculum, the higher education system filters that down to the teachers from the education board, and so the students abide by the curriculum of the teacher, of the college, of the school, right? When what the education system needs to be is inversed. So the students, in following their highest passion and excitement, set the curriculum. They should be saying to the teacher what they want to learn, not being told what to learn by the teacher. This is how you keep students engaged, you see. So, with that said, what I'll be doing on my school platform is I'll be covering a variety of topics. This is how it's going to work. I mean, anything from metaphysics, quantum mechanics, like a lot of science-based stuff, alchemy, esoterica, symbolism, occult, all these sort of things, esoteric anatomical sort of stuff, astrotheologian work, astrology, all these kind of weird woo-woo subjects. If you're interested in them, I shall be teaching them. And as a act of good faith, what I will charge for these and how this will work is if you are interested in learning some of this stuff, you come to me and you tell me exactly what you want to learn. And I will just set up the lesson around what you want to learn. Now, how much will this cost? Well, money is an abstraction. I don't care about the money. True value is in utility. So, a la In Rainbows by Radiohead 2006, you pay what you think it is worth. If you don't get anything out of it, you get it for free. Okay? Fair deal? Sounds like it. Anyway, been another transmission. WOOMOO. Woo-way. Oh, just very quickly, I forgot something. So, back on to the Western PsyOp. So, in the 60s, obviously technology has evolved with this PsyOp. So, it has gone from newspaper to television, the idiot box, where you tune out. You're not tuned in, you're tuning out, right? Then we had the evolution of the internet. And now, obviously, the main one is social media. What is social media? It is an algorithm designed to divide. That's all it is. It cynically, purposefully feeds you stuff you really, really like, and then stuff you really, really hate. And it's meant to divide the individual and the society. Okay? Anyway, that's enough. WOOMOO, woo-way.